With every new FIFA comes a whole new meta, and this year there's nothing more important than using attackers that fit that meta. So in today's video, I'm going through a list of attackers that seem godly within FIFA 22. Before I do get into the video, if you enjoy the content here and want to see a bit more from me, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Every single week we are uploading the latest news and the latest tutorials so that you can get the most out of FIFA 22. So if you do want to stay up to date with everything, then make sure you are following the channel. If you want to take it a step further, there is a link in the description down below which will take you over to the second YouTube channel. Over there we're not playing FIFA, but you will be able to see 3 live streams per week where I play through the latest games. So if you do want to see that, as said, link is in the description down below. And getting back into the video, I'll be running you through players that I've used myself or I've came up to versus other players so far in FIFA 22 that just seem broken. These players are listed at different prices but can be found at less than 100k, and I'm classing 100k as being cheap. So if you're struggling to score goals, definitely try out some of these players and hopefully they'll perform a lot better. The first player to talk about is Vinicius, the Brazilian left wing playing for Real Madrid. This is a player that I've been coming up to non-stop when going through division rivals, Champions playoffs and the FUT Champions final, and even his normal gold card is just tearing me apart. At the time of recording this video, he's costing around 10,000 coins on PlayStation, about 6,000 coins on Xbox, and about 9,000 coins on PC. And with that price tag for only an 80 rated player, you can see that a lot of people are going towards him. His pace and dribbling are key stats, but he is also 5-star skill moves with a 4-star weak foot. For some people, it may be a bit off looking at his shooting at 70, and once you break it down using FUTWiz or FUTBin to look at in-depth stats, it's also not too impressive. But this is one of those cards where I'm telling you to ignore the shooting stats, because the amount of times that I've come up to Vinicius and he's been outside the box and he's always managed to hit those long shots in and those long shot finesse shots, whatever it is, he's always seemed to be able to score them. If you do have a few extra coins, you can also go to his inform. He has an 83 rated left wing card, and this is even better. But if you're looking for this, you're going to have to pay a hefty fee at least 200,000 coins on all platforms. And because this player is starting to get a reputation of fitting the meta within Ultimate Team, it means that his inform price is just continually going up. But if you are limited on a budget, and the whole purpose for this video is to look at cheap players, so just go for his normal gold card. The next player to talk about is Timo Werner. Not the greatest of players within real life, but is doing very well when it comes to fitting a meta within FIFA. At the time recording this video, he's costing about 17,000 all the way up to 30,000 coins across all platforms. And for that, you are going to get yourself a very pacey striker that always seems to get in behind, with 3-star skill moves and 4-star weak foot. The first team that I put together as my starter team this year was a Premier League team, and it didn't include Werner. In fact, I was trying to use Harry Kane because I thought him being a 90 rated striker, he was going to get goals for me, but he wasn't. It wasn't until other people were suggesting that I use Werner, and as soon as I slapped him in, everything connected together. Everything was so much better. And since then, I haven't missed a game where I'm not playing with Timo Werner. If he's inside the box with the ball, it's probably going inside of the back of the net. And it also feels with this type of player, he gets extremely lucky with rebounds. The amount of times I'll take shots with other players, goalkeeper saves it, comes off the post, comes off crossbar, comes off other players who have put a block in, it always seems to fall to Timo's feet for him to slot into the back of the net. The next player to talk about is Saint-Maximin, a 79 rated player, but you need to look beyond the rating with this one. If you check his price as of right now, he's going anywhere between 6,000 coins all the way up to around 10,000 coins on all platforms. With that, you will be getting a left mid with 5-star skill moves and 4-star weak foot. But if you are going to be using this player, he is wasted within the left mid position. You want to be using him much higher up in the pitch because these finesse shots that he's got on him are just insane. It doesn't actually make sense when you're looking at his in-game stats. His shooting says it's an overall 69, with his finishing being at 65 and his long shots being at 70. There's also some other stats in here that don't look too good when it comes to the shooting attribute, but this is another great player that you can use. Very similar to Vinicius, except now French in the Premier League. Always seems to be able to cut in from the inside, outmuscle players even though he has 61 physical, and being able to do a long shot, finesse shot outside the box and for it to always go in without it being on timed finishing. What really goes to show how much this player fits the meta is his price, because only last week he was going for around 30,000 coins. His price has dropped quite a bit since then, but that doesn't mean that he's not overpowered anymore. He still fits the meta within FIFA 22 and he's still destroying me every single time I come up against him. The next player to talk about, and now we're actually going to talk about someone that is high rated and deserves to be good within the game. This of course is Paulo Dybala. Dybala is an 87 rated centre forward and he should be good within the game with that rating. But he is also such a bargain. Being able to buy him anywhere between 23,000 coins all the way up to around 30,000 coins depending on your platform. This is a player that I haven't yet been able to use myself, but every single time that I come up to him, I dread it. He scores so many goals against me that it is just ridiculous. Goals from inside the box, goals from outside of the box. There's even just been some fantastic runs from him. Even once I start to get a fast pacey defender that's able to outmuscle him, it just doesn't seem to happen. He just bounces off other players and always manages to slot it in the back of the net, putting me down to 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 and just absolutely tearing me apart. And with him being the type of player he is, there's no problem of you placing him as a striker or pushing him to a left wing, left forward, right wing, right forward, moving him down to a centre forward, which is his default position, or taking him even further down to a cam or centre mid. In the games that I've played, I've seen various other players try to use him in different positions and it always seems to work. Eventually, I will be able to push towards him and use him myself, but as of right now, he just does not fit in my team. But definitely is a player that I'm looking forward to use in the future, and hopefully he does as well for me as what he has been doing for other players. The next player to talk about is Donyell Malen, a player that we all knew was going to be overpowered even before FIFA 22 was released. We started to get player stats and we did actually talk about Donyell way before this. And now that FIFA 22 is out, I can confirm that he is a great player to use. I have used him myself after coming up to him a number of different times where he's just absolutely destroyed me. There's even been games where I came up to him in the recent weekend league and I actually got mad over it. I was taking long shots with other players which had better long shot stats, but I wasn't able to score. But Donyell Malen was able to put them past my keeper with ease from much further distances without timed finishing on. And when going through all of these players for this specific video, Malen is the cheapest at only 700 coins across all platforms. You could actually get him even cheaper if you're going to put bids in, but at this price range it really doesn't matter. This is a player that you're definitely going to be able to use and definitely going to be able to get your coins back out of him. He's got 4-star skill moves with 3-star weak foot, his pace is insane, his shooting doesn't seem right, it doesn't seem that high. 79 isn't bad for an 80 rated striker, but it doesn't seem particularly amazing in the grand scheme of things when we're coming up to other players. But still, as said, is one of those players where you have to ignore this stat. It just seems like it's a complete lie. Because of the amount of goals this player has scored against me, I've scored using him, and the positions in which he's scored those goals just does not make sense. And what's really cool with Donyell Malen is that he links to the next player. This is of course Erling Haaland. Haaland is another player similar to Dybala in the sense that he's high rated, so he should be good, but I do not think he should be this good. And for the price that you're paying for him, it's a bargain, costing anywhere between 25,000 all the way up to 35,000 across all platforms. This is a player that you expect to be good in Ultimate Team. He's reached a deserved rating and you expect him when buying into him for him to be a good player within game, and it is exactly that. With this type of player, there is nothing that he can't do. He's 6'4", so he's tall, going to get those headers. He's got high pace at 89. He's got good shooting stats to shoot from inside the box and outside the box. He's got great dribbling and amazing physical. No matter what type of playstyle that you're going for within game, whether or not you're trying to get him behind, whether or not you're playing him as a target man within a false 9, whatever it is, you're all good because Haaland can do it. I've even come up to a few players that's been using Haaland all the way down into centre mid and still he's done extremely well in game. And what makes him even better is that he does play within the Bundesliga for Borussia Dortmund. That's just easy links for you to get to other players which are just overpowered within those leagues. And for only 20k, you really can't go too wrong. Even if he doesn't fit within your team right at the beginning, you can actually buy him to use as a super sub. If you're not going to be using Haaland but you're looking for a very similar player, then your next best option is Lukaku. Lukaku is slightly more expensive just because he plays within the Premier League. He's got slightly less pace, but in other areas of his stats is just as good. With 87 shooting, 74 passing, 78 dribbling, 39 defending, which doesn't actually matter, and 83 physical. There's not a crazy pace difference between Lukaku and Haaland, but I've always felt with Lukaku that you need someone beside him, someone with a bit more pace. For my current team, I'm actually using One to Watch Lukaku because I got extremely lucky within my weekend league rewards. Managed to pack him. I know, absolutely insane. But he is my sole striker, but in game I actually put him as my striker right beside Vinicius, and it just destroys. It works out so much better having someone pacey beside him. I've also heard other people saying that they felt the exact same thing. Having Lukaku as the sole striker just doesn't seem to fit well, but as soon as they put a player such as Werner beside him, it works out a lot better. So that's something that you may need to bear in mind. And even though he has got very similar stats to Haaland, it feels like with Haaland you can just go on it by yourself. You can pass the ball to Haaland and just run straight forward to the defensive line, but with Lukaku it doesn't seem to gel as well. For every single game so far, it's felt so much better once I'm playing another striker beside him which has even more pace within those 90s, which Vinicius does. And the last player to talk about for this video is Ben Yedder. Ben Yedder being another player for another year which just fits the meta. It seems like it's been this way for the last couple of years and he's always destroying no matter what. Ben Yedder is an 84 rated French striker playing for Monaco. He's got 4-star skill moves and 5-star weak foot. Compared to some of the other players that we talked about within this video, he's not as pacey, sitting at 82, but still feels extremely good within game. He's always in the right place at the right time. Other people have also noticed how good he is within game, and because of it, he's got a higher price tag for an 84 rated striker, being anywhere between 13,000 coins all the way up to about 30,000 coins. But with it, you will be getting a well-rounded player with good pace, good shooting, good passing, good dribbling, and good physical. He's very similar to Lukaku in the sense that when I play with him, he does feel really good on the ball, but just seems to perform a bit better once he's partnered up to someone beside him who's got a bit more pace. Having him and someone else just charging towards the defense, doing little 1-2s around defenders, and then being able to just get to the edge of the box to take a long shot, a finesse shot, anything to do with time finishing, it just always feels threatening. I also notice where if I'm on a run with someone completely different down the wing and I manage to go to the byline and pass back to Ben Yedder, he's always got great position. He always seems to run into the goal, pull back to create that space, and it's just a simple tap in. I know that might not sound like he's doing too much work there, but tapping it in, especially this year, is the hardest part. Goalkeepers are extremely overpowered, especially when it comes to those in the box one-on-one chances. And with that positioning to pull away from the defender, it just makes life a lot easier, where the defender's still not able to get that block in, but you are still putting it at the back of the net with goalkeepers not being able to get it. There's been other players that I've used, such as Harry Kane, which did something similar, but I was never able to score. It was always a block, it was always a save, it was always a miss, it just never worked. But Ben Yedder makes it so simple. Other people have noticed it as well, and that's why he's got such a high price tag for just an 84 rated player. But anyway guys, those are some of the attackers that I've been using within FIFA 22 which have worked extremely well for me. There's a few exceptions where I've been able to come up against them against other teams and they've just absolutely destroyed me. And I will be looking to use them at some point within the future. If you guys have any suggestions of players that you think are overpowered that you've either played with or you've versed against in other game modes, then please feel free and let me know in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.